Welcome back. I'm Jill with the carefreekitchen.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make an easy baked chicken parmesan recipe. And this chicken parmesan has an Italian breadcrumb crust topped with an easy marinara sauce and smothered in golden mozzarella and parmesan cheese. Okay, so to start with the chicken parmesan, the first thing we need to do is to prep the chicken breasts. And I've got 3 chicken breasts here. You can actually do 3 or 4, it's fine. The first thing I'm gonna do is trim off any of the fat. Like this little bit here, just wanna trim that off and set it aside so you have a good texture on the chicken. And then there's a little bit here too. And the next thing we're going to do is just put a thin sheet of saran wrap over this. I guess you don't have to have saran wrap over it, but now we're gonna tenderize the chicken, and I want to just flatten out the high parts of the chicken here. Just give it a few good whacks here. We wanna do that so that the chicken cooks really evenly and it's the same thickness clear across the chicken breast. And you can actually use a rolling pin or a mason jar to do this, but if you have one of these meat tenderizers, you wanna use the flat part of it here. You know, get out a little aggression here and there, it's all good. Okay, so now I'm going to salt and pepper both sides of this chicken breast to make sure it has a lot of flavor. Just a nice little dusting of salt. Okay, and then we're gonna turn them over and do the same thing, salt and then pepper. All right, now I'm gonna set this aside for just a minute here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna make a little egg wash mixture. And I just have 1 egg here. And then I'm just gonna add about a tablespoon of water to that. I don't want it too thick. And there should be plenty for my 3 chicken breasts. And then I have some Italian breadcrumbs, and these already have some Italian seasonings in it. If you get plain, then you're gonna add your own. But I'm going to use about, I don't know, 1.5 cups, maybe like that. We can add a little bit more if we want to. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder to this. Since it has some Italian seasonings in it, I'm just gonna add a little bit more Italian seasoning, and then also some Parmesan cheese. We'll just give that a quick little mix here. All right, and that's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my chicken breast here and roll it in a little bit of this egg mixture. Let it drip off. And then roll it again in these Italian breadcrumbs with a little bit of Parmesan and a little bit of onion. I like to really try and get it coated pretty well. And then I want to butter this just a little bit with some nonstick cooking spray. And you can use a baking sheet or a 9x13 casserole dish. There we go. And now we're just going to repeat that process for all 3 of these chicken breasts. And these chicken breasts are actually really big, so this will probably feed 2 people. If you're wondering how much chicken breast will feed each person, I usually plan on about 1/4 pound of chicken breast for kids and about 1/3 pound for adults. So that's kind of or maybe even 4 to 6 ounces, that would work too. Okay, my chicken breasts are all in there, and I'm going to put this into a preheated 350-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, so while the chicken parmesan is in the oven baking, I'm gonna show you a really quick and easy homemade marinara sauce. It really only takes a few minutes, and it rivals all of the best marinara sauces. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is cut up an onion. And you can use white onions or yellow onions for this, any kind of a sweet onion. I usually don't use a red onion in this recipe because it turns the color kind of wonky. So, you know, pretty is important too. Okay, and now I'm just going to dice this up. So we're just gonna go over here to our pan and turn this on medium high. And then I'm just gonna add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. And then add my onion. And we are going to cook this on about medium heat until the onion starts to get a little bit brown around the edges. Okay, so for the marinara sauce, I've got my onions in here in the olive oil, and they're just starting to turn golden on the edges. So I'm going to add a couple teaspoons of garlic, and we're going to saute this for just another minute or two until that cooks. Okay, and so this is also some fresh basil, and you don't have to use fresh. When I have it on hand, I do like to use fresh basil. I'm just gonna give this a quick little chop here. This is gonna add a ton of flavor to your spaghetti sauce. All right, so the garlic looks good. I like to add just a little bit of red pepper flakes to that. Stir that around, and then also about a teaspoon of oregano. You could also use that fresh if you have that on hand. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt, some sea salt. Then I have some tomatoes here, and this is just some crushed tomatoes. You could use tomato sauce if you wanted, or even whole tomatoes and just blend them up. Whatever you have on hand will work great. Okay, now we're gonna give this a quick little stir. Bring it up to a boil, and then add our basil. This came up to a boil, and now we're going to add the last ingredient, our fresh basil. Waka waka, that is gonna taste so good. Why did I say waka waka? All right, just let this simmer here for another minute, and we are ready to go. Okay, so here's our chicken breast, and I like to use an internal temperature. 131, 147. We want the internal temperature to be at least 165. So this is a little bit over, but that is okay. At least 165. Okay, so now this is the fun part. I'm just gonna get some marinara sauce here and spread it on top. A nice hearty scoop. Just spread that around a little bit. As I make a mess, it's fine. And then we're going to put, you can use fresh mozzarella for this, or just shredded is what I had on hand today. Any kind of mozzarella is great. I like it to be pretty cheesy, and you can serve this over pasta, spaghetti squash, or just even with a side salad. I like to put Parmesan and mozzarella, so just a little sprinkle of both, and then I'm gonna put it back in the oven for just about 5 or 6 minutes until the cheese is all melted. All right guys, here is my version of oven baked chicken Parmesan. It's got that crusty layer on the outside with those panko breadcrumbs and the Italian seasonings, and then smothered in melty cheese, mozzarella, and Parmesan. It is a classic. It's an easy family dinner, and everybody loves it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on social media, and I will show you all kinds of fun and easy recipes your family will love. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!